The intangibles of life are your true wealth. Seek the intangibles of life with the same priority and intensity as you do earthly wealth. Invest them in you each day. Invest these intangibles of life in everyone you see. Invest these tangibles of life in every situation that comes across your day. Because the return on investment from the intangibles of life is better than any return on investment you're going to find here on earth. And this is the type of wealth that you probably take with you when you cross over from this life to whatever's beyond. Everything else you're going to leave behind. And this type of wealth is free. So what are the intangibles of life? Well, before I list them, I want to give you one small example, something that's a true story. There was an individual who worked as a postal clerk for 20 odd years and then retired. And this particular person married my mother. His name was Earl. The one thing Earl did, he served people in small ways. For example, when we'd go to a meeting, he would make the coffee. Everything he did was very small, simple things that helped people make their lives a little easier. He did this constantly. He loved my mother loved him very deeply. And he would serve my mother every day, even when she got mad at him. And I was there witnessing, and sometimes I would defend Earl instead of my mother. Now, my mother had a heart of gold, and she was a very good person. But Earl just absorbed this. Well, Earl died. I flew in and attended the funeral. And I was amazed. There was this huge church, and when I walked into the church building, that church was packed, standing room only. After the service, when we went to the cemetery, the line of cars was 2 or 3 miles long. All the people that Earl gave unconditional love and served in small ways took the time out of their busy lives to attend his funeral. To me, a dignitary had just died. That's what it looked like. That's what the intangible of life can do to our lives. Let's go over them real quickly. First, unconditional love. Love without expecting anything in return. Difficult to do, very difficult to do. But if we start practicing these intangibles of life every day, it becomes second nature to us. And we start seeing the benefits and how they affect people and ourselves. Unwavering faith. Faith to know that what you're doing, the dreams you have, the endeavors you want to start, will happen. Optimistic hope. Optimistic hope means that you're going to get and experience a good outcome. Joy. The joy of experiencing life. And then the joy of experiencing everything that goes into your day. Whether it's huge or whether it's small. Whether it's good or whether it's bad. Just joy in experiencing life. Patience provides you with the perseverance to get through the difficulties of life, the pain of life. Not only the heart pain, the mental pain, or physical pain. Patience, because nothing in this life lasts forever. Not even the bad stuff. Kindness. Helping anyone like Earl did in small ways, extending kindness, consideration. Faithfulness. Being true to yourself and being true to the people around you, so they know they can depend on you. Goodness. This is talking about moral goodness now. Doing the right thing within yourself and towards all people. Gentleness. We all have truths that we think are concrete, but when we share those truths, do it in a gentle way. Wrap it in gentleness. Not like you're taking an arrow and putting it in a bow and flinging your truth towards somebody and it's going to pierce her or his heart. No. Share your truth. Be gentle on yourself as far as your estimation of yourself and your critique of yourself, but also realize that since you have not arrived, probably the other person hasn't arrived either. Now, you may have mastered what they're having a difficulty doing, but there are things in your life that you have not mastered that maybe they do very well. So understand that sharing is better than piercing. Honesty. Just simply tell the truth. Be honest, be honorable. Humor. Smile more. Laugh. Do those things that make another person chuckle, and you'll find that both of you will think life is a little bit more than what it was a few minutes ago. Enthusiasm, being focused and interest, and having energy to put into your endeavor, your dreams. Enthusiasm is another intangible life. Intuition. That's different than assuming, because sometimes we assume and it's wrong or inaccurate, and that gets us in a whole bunch of troubles. But there's an intuition, an inner guidance to do this or that. Learn to follow that intuition. And then there's self-control. I think the best example of self-control is sometimes when somebody says something to us, we react immediately. Have the self-control, practice self-control that when somebody attacks you, verbally or by doing some unkindness towards you, that you first take a moment and say, how am I going to respond? I'm going to respond in one of the intangibles we just mentioned. I want you to think, what would happen if you were a master of every intangible we mentioned, and you use that intangible towards every person in every situation? How different would our lives be if we had mastered every intangible I mentioned, did it consistently? Our lives would be tremendously different. We would be happy, and our lives would flourish.